Well, hello, it's Linda from North Central Texas at you again today. I'm out here trying to set up my buckets. And the biggest thing to setting them up is make sure they're level. And I don't have a leveler, so I'm laying a board across the top. And I'm taking just a regular old quart jar and I'm putting it up on the top of the board. Let it settle down and it'll tell you if it's level or not. Takes a minute for it to settle down. It's pretty level, but since my yard slopes a little bit, I found that it has a tendency to go down. So I've got to build up a little bit of it. And what I'm going to do later is put wood chips and all kind of stuff around in here to keep the grass from growing in here. And that's too low. You just might have to move in some dirt or wood chips or whatever you've got to level these things off. And they might settle down a little bit between now and spring when I go to planting them. But at least I got them pretty level for now. See how that does. Yep, that pretty well has it lined up. So at least I know my buckets will be level. Tell I'm lazy. I didn't even take the buckets apart to get them out here. But then you just have to lock in your slots. Got them all locked in. No, I don't. Might have them quite close enough together. There we go. But they're locked in. I like all my handles toward the back. Make sure my stakes are all the way as far down as they'll go. I know what it is. I had to pull that first one out because It was sitting on a rock. Now that's got it. Now, like I had told you on some of my other videos, or when I was making this, that I don't care if my holes are stopped up in the bottom, because it's going to have a drain hole coming out the side. The side's right here that's going to go in that bottom bucket. So what I'm going to do is take some non-toxic glue, tacky glue, and I'm going to put it around each stake where it goes through the bottom of the bucket. It's a non-toxic glue, so it's not going to hurt to grow in these buckets with this glue in it. And if it leaks a little bit, that's okay too. Oh, I got it stringing all over the ground. And it dries clear, so it's not going to make a mess. See if I can show you what I'm doing down in there. I'm just putting it, I'm trying to set my camera up in the pot where my walking onions are, and they're not cooperating. Well, I should have left it when I had it over here. Now I can't tell what you can see. The way the sun is shining. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Each bucket that has holes in the very bottom of it, I'm sealing it up with tacky glue. Because out here in Texas where I'm at, you want your pots to hold moisture in the bottom. That way, hopefully, you don't have to water as much. I got flies bothering me. And it may break loose over time, but you can always reseal it if you want to, or just let it leak a little bit. Because like I said, you're going to have holes coming out the side for drainage anyway. And you notice I only put one hole in each side of each bucket. And as time goes by, if I see I need more than one hole, I can put more holes in there. Even when there's dirt in the bucket, you can still put a hole in the side of it. And it's as simple as that. That's what I did with my lid. Guys, I know it's only in the 80s right now, but I tell you what, I'm sweating. I get out here and get busy, and I start sweating. Trying to get this glue off of here before I put the top on it. Yeah, it's easy as that. If you don't have a level, get you a jar of water, a bowl of water, whatever you got, and make a level out of it. Because you can improvise. And just, I'm not going to put anything in the buckets till that glue dries. But what I am going to do is lay paper, magazines, whatever you got. Because I don't want nothing growing up under this. And I'm going to make a weed barrier the best I can. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm making a weed barrier down. Sorry about that. My camera cut off with me. But anyway, as you can see, I'm making a weed barrier. Down on the ground around my buckets. That way, in the spring when I get ready to plant in the buckets, if I have anything that comes out like the squash or those vines over there, they'll have a weed-free place to grow on. And I'm going to try to go ahead and put mulch and stuff over this whole area. But I won't do a lot of it until the spring. This I'll do right now because I'm just setting up the buckets. But you can see how much it helped over here with the vines growing out. Not to have all that grass growing. And I put mulch out here to where the vines could just grow on the wood chips instead of growing, you know, in the grass. So it helps a lot. But you see, I've still got some work over there to do. I need to pull out those couple of hills of grass and remulch it. Get it ready for in the spring. And I got those pots there temporarily. I'm not sure where I'm going to move them to. I may leave one big one there and put one big one over on the other side, and maybe put a couple over there and then surround them with rocks. And put a weed barrier down. That way when I go to mow, I won't hit my pots. But anyway, that's an idea for you. And like I said, I'll start filling up my buckets as soon as that glue dries down in there. It'll have time to kind of like run down between the post and the bucket to make a tighter seal. So I don't want to be moving those right now. But anyway, you get the idea. Save your old newspapers, your old magazines, because normally if I was planting a garden, I wouldn't want to put magazines in there. But I'm not going to try to grow anything in this dirt that I'm covering up because I've got too many rocks in it. So I'm just trying to make a weed barrier. So you can use magazines, cardboard, newspapers, any kind of paper that you can put down that will make a weed barrier. Or either that garden cloth. I just don't want to go to the expense of buying garden cloth because, you know, I'm not a rich person. So, but anyway, there is my 5-gallon, 6-bucket planter set up. And you can see now why I wanted to wait till I decided where I wanted to put it to leave it before I set it up, because I wanted to put that glue in there. And I know if I try to move it around after it's glued, the glue may break or come loose, and I might have to reseal it. And to do that, you got to take your dirt out. So once I get them set up, I don't want to have to take my dirt out. I mean, you're making good garden soil when you put in your rotted wood, your leaves, your food scraps, your native soil, potting mix, or whatever you end up putting in there. And you don't want to get rid of that. You want to keep it because you'll use that the next season. You just might want to add compost to it, or food scraps, or broken leaves, or, you know, something to it. But that's your good garden soil. You don't want to dump it out after you spent a whole season building up your soil in your pots or your totes. So with that, if you got any questions, leave me comments and I'll try to answer if I, you know, happen to see the comment. But that makes a pretty good looking planter. And this planter worked real well for me last year. I mean, look at the peppers in the top. Those bushes are full of peppers. And I've got squash growing. That was planted late, but it does have squash on it. And I had my watermelon and my cantaloupe and honeydews coming out of the other 3 or 4 buckets right there. Because I put a white one over there beside the tote. And then I've got 3 that they were growing out of the green ones that was to the planter. So, just giving you some ideas of how you can do your garden. So, with that, I'm going to bid you a good day. Y'all like, share, and subscribe to my videos if you like the content. And I will catch you on the next video.